Hello flight simmers, very good afternoon from Chicago O'Hare Airport, specifically from the southeast cargo ramp. As you can probably tell, we are doing some heavy cargo hauling today, flying the beautiful China Airlines cargo livery with the call sign Dynasty, which I think is a very cool call sign. And yeah, we are flying from Chicago over to Anchorage today, roughly a 5.5 hour flight. It's typically, of course, not the full routing this aircraft does. So typically when it flies from the States over to Asia, it goes from Chicago to Anchorage, then on to Osaka, and then on to Taipei. At least that's from Flight Radar, the most common routing I found there. But we are doing the first leg of this tour only. And yeah, it should be fun. We are flying offline today. As you can see, the airport is absolutely packed with AI traffic. Let me quickly zoom out to the runway, since there is a Lufthansa 748 lining up. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit there. Yeah, Lufthansa 748 just starts rolling right now. And yeah, so setup looks very nice. Spirit Airlines coming in. I think it's a little bit wild, these AI operations here, but never mind. Yeah, weather looks beautiful. It's afternoon time here in Chicago. We will get to Anchorage early evening time. If we are lucky, or if I've timed it correctly, we will have a sunset arrival into Anchorage, but let's see about that later on. And yeah, I think for now we should be able to start setting up. Let's just watch the Lufthansa depart, and then we can go to the flight deck and set up everything. Oh, that's an early rotation, and they are airborne. Right, so I would say let's get to it. So, welcome to the cockpit, ladies and gentlemen. Let me very quickly run you through a couple of things which I did set up already. We have the ACARS established, of course. Flight time is going to be 5 hours and 49 minutes. Call sign Dynasty 5317. We have fuel on board of close to 75 tons. Not even half full on this kind of a short flight for a 747. And a payload of 78.8%, zero fuel weight, 253 tons. Out of a maximum 288 would be possible. And so gross weight 327 out of a maximum takeoff weight 385.6. So we have a bit of room to play there. Also, I started recently to look into a bit of failure operations for all kinds of aircrafts. So I have random failures set, not a lot, just 2 events per 10 hours, limited to 1 failure, since I think realistically having more than 1 failure in an aircraft is super untypical, very unrealistic. So yeah, let's see, we might get 1 failure, can be anything, can be very minor that we don't even recognize it, up to, I don't know, engine failure or whatever you have there, gear failure, could be anything. If nothing pops up on the ACARS, or on the ECAM, sorry, then I will also not look up what kind of failure it is. Might be something going on in the background, for example gear failure, which we will only notice when we want to extend the gear later on, or something like that. So I'm not going to look it up, but if something pops up on the ECAM, then I will run through that, use the quick reference handbook as well, and hopefully all this goes well. Now we have the route in here. Yes, flight number Cal 5317. Wait, did it not take that? Okay, that looks better. For the departure, AI traffic is using runway what was it? 09er? Oh, sorry, 10 left. I believe we will be using the same runway then, so that's gonna be 10 left. And of course, there's only the Chicago departure, which is a heading heading departure. We will set that up when we get closer to the runway later on. Runway heading is going to be 093. Also, we will put this to the assigned heading, but let me put it there for now. And now let's go ahead, close some doors. Otherwise, it's going to be very annoying having these sounds all the time. And oh, then I also need to make sure to have the nose loader released, otherwise it's not going to close. Okay, what else? Route performance, 0 fuel weight 253. We have final reserves plus alternate is 12.1. And cost index 80. I think that's a realistic cost index for cargo hauling in a 747. Initial cruise level 340. ICAO step climbs, that's fine. Then we go to legs, route data, load the wind data. Check the progress page. 20.7 on arrival. Wow, that's a lot. I do wonder why it's that high. Shouldn't it sort of match up to what we have on SimBrief here? Maybe let's do the arrival. Might be very extensive arrival which SimBrief has in plan for us. SimBrief is planning 07 right for the arrival with the Witty 4. Transition at Thompson. I think we can use the Echo November Alpha transition. Okay, 17. That's quite a difference. So, yeah, the arrival route itself is taking up a lot of fuel apparently. Okay, so we have that kind of sorted out. And then we need to do the performance. Oh, and I'm just seeing the windows are fogging up, so let me put those window heats on. Okay, performance. We're using TopCat, of course. So, takeoff calculation. Departing 10 left, takeoff runway available 3962. Update the wind. And then takeoff weight we said was, I forgot again, 327. That's rounded up already, so that should be fine. Optimum. Aircon, actually we don't need it. Off, anti-ice, off as well. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so that's a takeoff 2, flaps 10, select temperature 48, only 89.7% and 1. So that's quite a bit of a derate, but that makes sense. So takeoff 2, selected temperature 48. Then we had a wind of 170 at 3. Oh, that's not working. My bad. So the headwind component is 1 knot. Okay, speed's gonna be 154, 164, and 171. 171 coming in here. Flight directors, LNAV, VNAV. Actually, never mind, that's wrong. We go heading select and VNAV. And then let's fire up the APU, and then we should be good to go within short. Alright, APU should be running. There it is. Recirculating fans, specs coming on. Oh, these fans are a bit noisy, unfortunately. Fuel pumps. Actually, I'm not sure what kind of config we need. Let's see. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. Fuel, of course. 20.140. Okay, so nothing in the center tank, but we need the fuel crossfeeds open as well as the overdrive pumps on, so that's good. Then we'll make sure the parking brake is set, and then I believe we can remove everything. Put this to 1000. There we go. TA. And yeah, pre-flight checklist. Oxygen says 100%. Flight instrument 004, 004, 3009er, 3009er, and over here as well. Parking brake set, fuel control switch cut off. Pre-flight checklist completed. Let's ask for pushback. Okay, then we have those coming to aux and beacons to both. And then we can run the before start checklist. Flight deck door closed and locked. Hopefully, let's actually check the doors. Do we still need to arm them? No, we can't do that here. Okay, passenger signs are on in case there's anyone flying along. MCP is set, V2 171, heading 093, altitude 10,000, takeoff speeds 154, 64, 71. Trim is 0 and 0, and we have a taxi and takeoff briefing. No, we will do that in a second, and beacon lights are on before start check is completed. So technically here at the southeast cargo ramp, quite strict operations. So aircraft's going out, taking, which one is it? I think Sierra 1. Sierra 1, which is here on the left. Incoming aircraft always on Sierra 2. And outgoing aircrafts have priority, so there would be Unicom frequency. But we would announce that we are pushing back and leaving via Sierra 1. And then any incoming traffic would have to wait. That would be the deal, but seems like all the traffic here is static at the moment. So that's good. Okay, very good. We are pushing, so let's go ahead. Continuous auto start both. Starting 3 and 4. Actually, I'm not quite sure what kind of percentage of N2 we are looking for to inject the fuel. Just gonna assume it's 25. So there we go. Okay, starter cutout starting 1 and 2 then, and I'm just seeing... we're still pushing. I think he's still trying to get us onto the taxi line. Not quite sure. And fuel is coming in. So in the meantime, let's figure out the taxi charts together. There we are. Okay, not quite on the line. That's interesting. So let's look at the charts. Yeah, that's the common use taxiway lease line. No, I think we should be on this taxi line. So we are taxiing out Sierra 1. After that, Sierra 1, probably Romeo, left on Foxtrot, crossing runway 10 center, then left on Papa, all the way down on Papa, and then Zulu departure 10 left. I would say that's the plan, unless there's any other restrictions for us. No, that's 748, but 748 is not relevant for us. But if they are cleared on this routing, then we should be as well. That's all low-vis taxi operations. Okay. Yeah, I think this plan will work out. Okay, we have good engine starts. So, hydraulics coming to auto. APU coming off. This is coming off. Continuous ignition is staying on for the takeoff. Packs are coming to norm for the moment. Then we have flap 10 departure. Takeoff trim 6.2. Can we see that somewhere? The exact number. I don't think we can, so we have to eyeball it. Yeah, I think that will be fine. And RTO, flight control check, full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, and the rudder full right and full left, neutral. Before taxi checklist, anti-ice not required. Recall is checked. No failures up to this point. At least no announced it. Auto brake, RTO, flight controls are checked. Ground equipment is clear. And the before takeoff checklist we can complete as well. Flaps are set position 10. So that's completed as well. Good, let's go then. So coming up to runway 10 left, let's go TARA. I think we might be lucky. Approach is free, and there's also no other aircraft aircrafts coming from the other side. So we are good to go. I made one adjustment. Initial climb altitude here in Chicago is 5,000, so that's what I've put in here. And since we are flying with failures, we could also run a bit of a departure briefing. So it is a very long runway here. So I would say in case of any failure, which is sort of non-flyable, we can abort the takeoff all the way up to V1. And yeah, I think in reality you would pre for a couple of more scenarios, but honestly, that's where I think it would be cool to ask a real pilot about that, right? But yeah, any major incidents happening up to V1, we will abort the takeoff and just do go full reverse at this point, and we have RTO armed, so that's fine. Let's go strobes, and let's say we are cleared for takeoff in mode landing lights, and let's assume initial heading is 050 for us. Okay, I will track the flight time over there. Go chrono over here, and then we are good to rock and roll. There were some aircrafts coming in on the other runway back there. Yeah, there they are, and that's a bit messed up because there's a I think that's kind of on our departure route, isn't it? Those guys coming over there. There's another one coming, but I'm afraid we can't really stop that now with the AI traffic going on, so can't do much about it. Anyhow, let's rock and roll. Takeoff. That's a nice sound. Checked. Bit of a leg spike, but not too bad. Oh wow, we actually use a bit of runway here. I'm surprised. V1. Rotate. V2. 10 degrees. And we're airborne. Gears coming up. Wow, that was a lot of noise rolling down the runway there. Okay, 1000, let's go to the left-hand turn. Follow the flight director. I would love to look outside now, but we are doing some manual flying here. Okay, very nice. Now we can risk a very brief view. Oh, awesome. Creating our own weather. Okay, let's go. Autopilot. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong key binding. Autopilot engaged. Gears coming off. Flaps 5, speed check flaps 5. Nice, accelerating further and flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. And I think we can head towards the first waypoint now. So legs, pumpkin, recycle that, and let's go LNAV. And flaps up. Climbing like crazy now. Let's actually go. We can't tune it to buff aircraft only, can we? No, I don't think we can. Okay, never mind. Oh, that's 5,000. Let's keep it climbing. That was a little bit late there. But also the aircraft, I think it was overshooting the 5,000 by quite a bit there. Was it 350? Got no 340. Okay, after takeoff checklist, landing gear is up and off and flaps are up. After takeoff checklist is completed, continuous ignition. Oh, and we did forget the packs. As always, I always forget them. Hate it. I hate it, I hate it. On my printed out checklists, I have it handwritten on there to memorize it, but now I'm using the PMDG checklist on my second screen, so I don't have it on there. Okay, anyhow, we are climbing, so enjoy the cruise, guys, and then we will hopefully have a nice landing into Anchorage later on. Enjoy! Hello folks, welcome back. We are closing in on Anchorage and we're just emerging from the clouds, and yeah, it's a cloud layer rather high up here today. So we've just passed that and now we have a more or less clear view down on the Anchorage area. I believe, if I'm not entirely wrong, airport should be down this way somewhere. And yeah, passing 13,500. Regarding the cruise, I have not seen any failure yet. That does not mean there is none. Based on these settings I've entered, I'm quite sure there is some failure, but it's likely unenunciated, so we don't see it here. It might be something completely irrelevant, or not irrelevant, no failure is irrelevant, but something that really does not affect our flying at all, something very minor. Could be something big which we just don't see yet. There could be something related to the gear or whatever. So yeah, nothing yet. I think it's quite fun to fly with failures because it adds sort of another level of in-flight awareness, right? So now there's a point of doing fuel checks, of scanning through all the different systems from time to time. But yeah, as I've mentioned, I've not found anything yet that indicates any sort of failure, but we will see. We will see once we are down there. Yeah, regarding the arrival, we are landing ILS on runway 15. So I did a bit of replanning. Initially I planned for 07, but the winds are very sort of typical Anchorage like. We have gusting winds, 12 knots from 200, gusting 17. That came down a little bit a few minutes ago. It was gusting up to 25 even. But other than that, it's kind of nice. It's good visibility. It's cold, -1 degree. 29996. Let's update that. I had 29995 before. So that's set. Minimums 410. And yeah, other than that, will just be regular ILS approach. We have flap 30 landing. Speed 149. Due to the gusting winds, I'm going to add 10 knots on top, so that's 159 for the approach, kind of high. So 159. Auto brake 3 is set down here, and we will arm those. Currently I have the engine anti-ice on, since we are still passing through clouds and it is quite cold out there. Total air temperature -4. Drag required. Okay, let's see. A tiny little bit. Let's see how it works out. We are below 10,000, so let's put those lights on. Right, and then once down on the ground, I can quickly pull up the chart. So it's a long runway, 3.3 kilometers. We want to make exit Mike. That would be perfect. Lima would also be okay. And then we just taxi on this apron down here. Let's see what these spots are called. Yeah, the Romeo 7 through 11, which I believe are just refueling positions, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they're just refueling there, and based on the timings, this aircraft is usually on the ground while visiting Anchorage, usually just about 1 hour, a little bit more than 1 hour. So that's not really time enough to do cargo reloading and resorting. I'm quite sure that's just for refueling purposes. Yeah, it has custom terrain textures down here, which makes it look kind of cool. That's the airfield down there. In case of a go round, we will climb to 800 feet only, and then a right hand turn on heading 200, so just a slight right hand turn, climbing to 3000. That's the plan. Alright, let's hope everything goes according to plan then. Descent checklist complete, approach checklist as well. Next up will be the landing checklist. Still a tiny bit fast. I have set a speed of 210 for Cardo, which is over there. And from Cardo, I think it's 13 miles. Yeah, 13.2 miles on the ILS. So being at flap 5 at Cardo, that's kind of the desired spot. As always, I hope AI traffic is not messing with us too badly. But I think departures are on 07, which makes it a bit easier for us. Okay, 16 miles out, let's go flap 1, speed check, flap 1. .747 sleds have a very unique way of deploying. It's always kind of cool to watch. Okay, vertical speed, adjust a little bit, we are below the glide. And then we can slow down. 220. Yeah, I think there's no active traffic at the moment, which is good for us. So let's call it clear to land. Although we are still fairly far out. Don't want to level out entirely, so going a bit shallower there. 11 miles, flap 5. Speed 190, and then we can cruise it in there very nice and slow. Okay, engine anti-ice I'm gonna turn off, it's not required for the moment. We are far away from the clouds. And that's approach. Almost forgot that. Last minute call localizer and kaleidoscope captured. Go around altitude 3000 is set. 9 miles to run, flip 10. Speed 170. Yeah, right now winds look super steady, but they might of course get gusty down there. Let's see.
2500.
Okay, let's get a little bit closer and then we can go gear down, flap 20. At around 2000 feet radio altitude. Yeah, looks like not very active traffic down there at the moment. It's kind of good for us. Okay, gear down. Flaps 20. Speed 159. Is set. Now I'm really hoping for a green light. There it is down. Flap 25. And flaps 30. Landing checklist. Speed brakes are armed. Landing gear is down. Flaps are 30. Green light. Landing checklist is completed. So let's do some flying. My aircraft, and I will also take the throttle in a second, just getting it trimmed out a little bit. Yeah, now it's even more wind, actually more wind, 12 knots, and need to do that manually. So manual flying. Did I set all the lights? Yeah. A bit above the glide. I think it's too red, it's too white, so I'm gonna rely on the poppies a bit more. It's hard to see.
Approaching minimums.
Very cool approach coming over this cliff.
Minimums.
Continue. Yeah, looks like we're a little bit high, but one red.
100.
A little bit high.
50. 30. 20. 10.
And come on. Oh, it's a bit of a floater. Get down there. Reverse. Not a perfect landing. We were drifting off the center line there a bit. idle forward. Manual braking. Let's take this exit. Yeah, I'm not super happy with this landing, to be very honest. Drifting off the center line is not a very good thing to have during a crosswind situation. But anyhow, let's revisit that in a second. For now, strokes off, lights are set. And we take a left hand here and then squeeze in somewhere next to the polar cargo. Okay, oops, went a little bit too far there, but here we are, parking brake, APU generator 1 and 2, and then shutting down. Now it is a bit dark in here, so let's switch on the dome light. Fuel pumps, hydraulics, beacons. That's all set, I believe. Okay, now ground connections set, ground power, and now let's see what kind of failures we got. Well, it's actually only gonna be one, so let's see. Aircraft failure, active, non-active. Why? I did set it to yes. That's weird. Okay, that's super weird. I thought like setting it to those levels will for sure give us one failure on the 6-hour flight, but apparently that did not happen. Okay, next time I will dial it up a little bit then in this case. I was kind of hoping to get it a bit more interesting with this one, but never mind, next time then. Alright folks, so here we are. Welcome to Anchorage once again. Fuel truck is already in position, just refueling only. And I'm just seeing, I think GSX did put us a little bit too far. But never mind. Okay, so according to Volanta, touchdown rate was 112. So that's a good touchdown rate for landing a 747, I would say. However, as I've said before, I am not super happy with that landing. Due to the crosswind, I should have used a little bit of a different technique, holding it into the wind and touching down with the right main first. Kind of missed doing that, and we saw that we were drifting over to the left-hand side, away from the center line. So that's something to learn from, and maybe something to practice again, crosswind landings with a 747. Anyhow, I think it was fun flying a cargo once again. Always super cool to fly the PMDG 747. Tremendously good aircraft. Can't wait to get a good 747 in Microsoft Flight Sim, but I think it's a few years down the road at least. So for now we will fly it in P3D. So thank you guys for joining me on this flight. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will meet you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.